Small groups affect my learning by helping me engage in the classroom more with my classmates, especially for those who don't, engage as much as I do. So it also helps me do other things with them, such as assignments and online things. So it helps everyone overall.
So Sequoyah Middle School decided to focus on small group instruction because when we looked at our data, when we compared our BOY for the MAP to the MOI, we realized that there was a decrease in certain areas of math and things like that. And so we're seeing a lot of times in the classrooms, some of the students, our higher level students, sometimes are not as engaged. Our lower level students are struggling when it comes to understanding the content. So we're realizing the need for small groups so that way we can reach all students at their level and make sure that all students are engaged at all times.
Our first PD that we had, we just broke down what small group instruction was, the need for it, the how and the why, and showed them how that could look in their classroom and provided them with resources such as how to group their students, various seating arrangements, and various ways that small group instruction can look.
My name is Megan Stevens, Sequoyah Middle School. I teach 7th grade science, general ed, and gifted and honors. By using small groups, we wanted to use this strategy to help address some of the deficits that we see based on the data, such as our benchmark that we have, the MAP testing, as well as our GMAS milestone. We're gonna sit based on color, and then you're gonna have your signs. Yellow was here yesterday? Okay, yellow. All right, green, 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 blue, blue, blue. Green, 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 blue, blue, blue.
She forms their small groups by our pre-test and what we got on them, like red, yellow, green, and blue. With green being 80, blue being 90 up, yellow being 70, and red being 50.
Where do you want me to?
I wanted to use this strategy and able to help those students to challenge them a little bit more and to get them to be able to think on a deeper level when it comes to understanding science. So basically, I had some laminated photos that has the color, and it also has like a picture of a card, different types of cards. So the colors are based on the achievement level descriptors that are used with our benchmark that we give the MAP testing. So for students who had an achievement level that was below basic understanding, they would be in the red group, basic understanding yellow, so on and so on. Proficient and distinguished would be in those respective green and blue groups. Well, I would say that small groups is definitely a plus. For one, I would say it encourages collaboration for the students to work together and talk amongst each other. Sometimes students feel more comfortable discussing their answers or the content when the teacher is not involved. So when they're in their small groups and they're amongst each other, their peers, sometimes the comfort level is a little bit higher when it comes to the academic discourse between the students, as well as communication, building their communication skills. So the communication, definitely working collaboratively, and I think it fosters a sense of teamwork as well amongst the students. So basically, every group is working on a different activity. So I will say for me, for life science 7th grade, my focus, my classroom goal for 2024 is to use tiered instruction and flexible grouping to maximize student outcomes.
Some of the positive results that we've already seen here at Sequoyah with our teachers using small group is the teachers are excited because the students are excited to learn. When you see the students working in the small groups and you listen to the academic discourse and things like that, it shows that the students they like using or working in small groups.
I love working in small groups because working in small groups allows me to have different perspectives and how I can make changes to whatever we're working on.
I actually kind of like it. And I like it because you get the chance to work with different people and everybody bringing new ideas to the table that can make better and better learning. It should make a better and better learning environment, and it can make better work.
I feel as if small groups are like beneficial for my learning, but at the same time they could sometimes not be beneficial, as some people in small groups could disturb me and they could cause disruptions and it wouldn't help me learning. And I feel like small groups help my learning as with collaborating with other people, as like, let's say you don't know something and they do know something and they help you out with something. I feel like that is very beneficial to my learning.
I like working in small groups because it helps me collaborate with my classmates. I get to help them, they get to help me, and I also get to work with them. And it also helps everyone in the classroom overall, including me, because when I don't know something, they help me, and when they don't know anything, I help them.
Remember, writing should be the last station you go to. Hey, I'm getting ready to start the timer. I'm going to be walking around and making sure that you're getting it done. And you may begin. Yes, so we're going over classifications and we're doing a station lab. So in each section, the students will have to do read it, explore it, watch it, research it, illustrate it, and organize it. And at the end, they have to write about it. In each station, they have 10 minutes to complete the task that is given to them. In the organized section, they have to organize the list of domains from the top to the bottom. In explore it, they have to classify the different types of buttons in different categories, how they would classify them. And write it, they will have to write about everything that they learned today. And read it, they have a task where it tells them each thing that they have to do, and they have to answer 4 questions after that. And so it basically helps them with their understanding of what classifications is in a modified, differentiated way.
Working by yourself, it makes you feel a little bit frustrated, like you can't do it or not. So when you're working with small groups, you could get help.
I am Kitana Battle at Sequoyah Middle School. I teach 6th grade math. So I decided to start using small groups in my classroom. It is a school-wide initiative that we are trying to push, but even before then, I just knew that my students feed off of each other's energy. They work very, very well in small groups, and being able to remove myself from the equation, I'm able to address more of their needs and see where I can meet my students individually. Small group instruction has affected learning in my classroom by making my students much more confident. They're much more willing to ask questions. They're much more willing to engage with me on the day-to-day basis. It's not like a fight to get the students to interact and want to be excited about learning and education. I form my groups by using our middle of the year map data. It does the work for you. It splits our students into 4 different categories based off where they performed. You can use those 4 categories to your liking. I normally take my higher achieving students and I like to spread them out into groups so they're able to peer assist. I found in my classroom that peer-to-peer assistance works a lot better than just teacher to whole group instruction. I determine which groups to provide small instruction to. In conjunction with our MAP data, we're using our summative assessments and our common assessments provided by the Georgia Department of Education. And in my classroom, I rank my students. After they take a test, I rank them from highest to lowest performing. I take my lowest performing group. I recognize which standards or which topics that they struggled on the most, and then I'll pull those together and create like a mini lesson so that we can dive deeper into that topic.
My role in the small group initiative at Sequoyah Middle School is to provide professional development for small group instruction. It is to support teachers at Sequoyah Middle School who are not utilizing small groups to begin using it in their classroom and to enhance the practices of those who are using small groups in their classroom. Today at Sequoyah, we had the opportunity to see different variations of small group instruction. In Ms. Stevens' class, we saw her group her students based on homogeneous grouping, where students who scored the same on the exam were grouped together and provided support based on their levels. In Mrs. Conley's class, we saw heterogeneous small groups where, again, they were grouped based on data. However, she grouped students based on heterogeneous small groups so that those students who score higher can support those students who score lower on the exam. And lastly, in Ms. Battle's class, we saw teacher-led small group. Oftentimes, you see this in an elementary setting. However, it was so great to see it being led in a middle school classroom where she was supporting students who were struggling in a certain skill and or concept while the other students were working on different skills at the different stations. Today was a fantastic and a great representation of small group here at Sequoyah Middle School.